And this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a fifth-round pick in the 2019 draft out of North Dakota State. It's Easton Stick.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions.
No,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the... starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. Ready?
Here's Coleman on the draw. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. This is how they will line it up defensively for Minnesota. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Certainly not the start they were looking for offensively, coming off that loss last week on the road.
And they didn't do their job. They're going to feel poorly about that. But what they're going to do is look at the defense and say, can you pick us up here? And let's face it, defenses can score. We've seen it, right? They can take the ball away, create a big-time opportunity. Let's see if they can get that done.
Yeah, just something to jumpstart this home crowd.
Here we go. 50, plant. 55. Check.
The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
70, Indy.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 7 carries, 60 yards. A first down carry for Barkley. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he'll take this down to the 40-yard line. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. You were telling me this yesterday. That's exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation we were talking about with one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly, it's a big man's game. And it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
On second down, here's Barkley. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Cook. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable third down receiver.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On third down, Barkley. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down. It's a quarterback sneak. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
Now this time he'll look to throw. He's got his... Man, it's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Herb Smith Jr. with his 16th touchdown of the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after, right down the middle.
Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You say, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
And credit the tackle to Taco Charlton with a stop. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll throw on 2nd down his stick. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
He'll get 15 and a Saints first down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
This is Coleman. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. 30, 10, and they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. Now the try here for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They begin the drive with Coleman. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. 14-0 to score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They're going to go play action now with stick. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time. It's a
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, it's stick. And a Throw there going to be incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Now here's Ross. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Couldn't do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself, at this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play calling.
On second down now, Barkley. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Here's a 2nd and 7. This is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Herb Smith Jr., his 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it here. It's Coleman. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Tackle made by Everson Griffin.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
A toss to Cook. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
Down, 30 base. Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
And Barkley will try to punch it in. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Here's Barkley. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 29. Too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Now the try here for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So this drive spans 7 plays.
And the rookie Saquon Barkley, the one who finishes things off with a touchdown run.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here comes Michael Thomas and the rest of the Saints offense. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried. Because a lot of times, that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Stick. He's got his all-pro receiver, Michael Thomas. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Now Stick. 19 yards there on the catch and run. He gets it to Thomas. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On the draw play, Coleman. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
Mike 5-5, Mike 55, Mike 5-5. Watch the run, watch the
From the 45 on 2nd down. Stick. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 33. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. It's caught, Smith. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum. because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
This one complete to Coleman. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Now the Saints will use their third and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
I'm ready. 55. Right there in the middle. 55. You ain't going nowhere. Get it.
Looking to throw again on second down. Stick. That's caught. It's Thomas. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a second and long. 2nd and 15. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. A heck of a play there on third down, but amazingly, they're still short for fourth.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in fourth and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. They're going to try and throw. And this is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. A gutsy decision there at this stage in the second half in their own territory, and a decision that they might regret.
Can't wait for the post-mortem. You know, this post-game press conference, because the questions are going to come fast and furious about this decision, no matter how the game turns out, right? What were you thinking there? Why? Did you have a certain play call? Were you confident in your defense? Oh, yeah. Why? It's going to keep coming up.
Yeah, no matter the scoreboard, just tough to justify. Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Wide open receiver complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 17 there and a New Orleans first down. First and 10, Stick. Thomas has got it, complete. And he coughed it up. And this is going to kick out of bounds. Boy, a fortunate bounce or two there. They'll keep possession back inside the 10-yard line. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. On second down, it's Coleman. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Stick back to pass. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. And Lutz's kick is good. And that drops the deficit from 28 to 25.
I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And now out comes Minnesota. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
Do you think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
17 yards, first down, Vikings.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack coming from defensive end, Cameron Jordan.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with third down coming up.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go, D. All day, defense.
To throw on third down, Carmichael, and down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Cameron Jordan able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That's his 2nd sack of the game. The best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny? When we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. You look at the numbers for him, and 1,000 yards, obviously well within his sights, barring injury. He will get there. The question, will he get there in this game?
Well, he would love to. Duh, right? Of course he would. But, you know, watching him play this year, we often talk about defenses, allocating extra resources to try and stop a guy of his ilk, right? But you know what else kicks in? His pride to say, okay, I don't care how many you throw in my direction, I'm still going to find a way to get open. I will use different moves. I will move against formation. I will come underneath routes and try and run through some people and kind of get natural picks in order to work his way open. He wants to get that 1,000, and he doesn't want any less passes to come to his direction.
Third down, they'll throw with stick. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to make it fourth down. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Ross on the return.
Let's go. Let's do it.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
2nd and 5. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on. 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. The open man is Smith. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Looking to throw. Carmichael. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carmichael. Complete. Smith has it. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Carmichael. That'll be complete to Cook. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Carmichael, and he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the 1st. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. From 3 yards out as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Stick looking to throw on 1st and 10. And this one complete to Smith. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. On 2nd down, it's Stick. His throw incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. But now it'll be 3rd down.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about
a 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
On 1st and 10, Carmichael. He's got Smith here. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. On 1st down, Carmichael. But it's caught on the right side at Smith. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Give them 19 there as the drive marches forward. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
Brings up second and 9. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Sit up. Check right. Ready, go. Man out. Mike 5-5. Mike 55. Mike 5-5. Oh, you got deep? Let's go.
Again, it's Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They have full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. What did